Hey everybody, before we get into this week's episode, just a quick warning. Something happened with the mics and the last 10 minutes of audio got cut off. So you're going to notice a significant decrease in audio quality. We apologize for that. Nothing really we can do but rely on the iPhone audio for those last 10 minutes. But other than that, the episode's great. Really encourage you to check out the whole thing. Anyways, let's get back to the episode. Good morning. Welcome back to SBJ Weekend Review. I'm Keagan Holsey. To my left is Chad Holsey, and to my right we have a return guest, the Alex Pence.
Your best friend.
Best friend, brother-in-law, all the above. How we doing, everybody?
Good.
Great. Doing good. Sick of this weather, but doing good.
Which is why these episodes have been a little bit weird. Not much to cover on Sunday because we haven't been doing our regular Sundays, but we're going to try to make it work the best we can. Hopefully, after this next upcoming Sunday, everything's back to normal. We don't have to do any more weird stuff, but the groundhog did say this morning we have 6 more weeks of winter.
Stupid groundhog.
That's what everybody's saying on Facebook. People are mad at the groundhog.
Like it's the groundhog's fault. Like groundhog's like, man, I'm a victim in this, man.
Yeah.
Total victim. You know what I forgot to do?
What'd you forget to do?
Turn my phone off.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. So in a little bit, that sucker's going to ring. Where are you going?
Turn off my phone.
What are you all dressed up for? Is there something I should have been dressed up for today?
I got a hot date.
Oh, okay. I don't have much going on.
I'm going home to watch TV.
That's good. Good day.
Sit on the couch.
You're going to be doing that for a while.
Yeah, apparently.
We'll get more into that here in a little bit. Do we want to just jump right into Wednesday?
Yeah, let's do Wednesday. Then we can do what little bit we have for Sunday.
You kick us off then.
Okay, so Wednesday night we had 8 or 9 kids from the apartment. So that little group's starting to grow. I'm excited about that, and always good to have them. And actually, you have several that are riding that are coming to your class. So we're not only picking up just little kids, we're picking up teenagers, and we're seeing some good stuff happening there. I'm excited about that. Have a good group showing up to eat every Wednesday night, which is always awesome. It's crazy when like some weeks you'll like have food left over, and then some weeks, dude, we ain't got nothing left over. They ate everything, and I like that. I like that when they come and eat everything. And so good. And then in my class in the men's Bible study, we are looking at Joseph. And Joseph has just, where we're at in the story, Joseph's just interpreted the dream of the Pharaoh, and he has been promoted to prime minister of Egypt. Could you imagine going from prison to prime minister in less than 24 hours? That's got to be a crazy story. I would love to hear his take on, like that night as he's laying in the palace, if you will, in a house and something absolutely nuts. He's got to be thinking, what in the world just happened?
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, whoa. That was crazy, because you imagine he woke up that morning in jail, just another normal, typical another day in jail. I'm in prison, and I'm going to do my best. I'm going to have a right attitude. I'm going to look out for these people. I'm going to do my part. And next thing you know, hey, the Pharaoh wants to see you. And then the next thing you know, he is interpreting the dream. He's riding in a chariot where people are bowing down to him, and he is second only to Pharaoh.
Going from chains to getting bowed down to.
Yeah, and they talked about everything. They put a gold necklace on him, put clothes on him, clean.
It's got to be like a whirlwind thing.
Yeah.
Like you don't even know what's happening when it's happening. You're just going through the motions, doing what people are telling you to do.
You got to think it was the craziest deal. And you wonder when he told Pharaoh the dream, he said, now Pharaoh, pick you out among you a wise person, blah, blah, blah. And he goes through, this is the person you should be looking for. Did you ever wonder if Joseph thought, let it be me, let it be me, let it be me? Or he was just giving his advice and was planning on going back to jail that day,
I feel like if you're in jail, the only thought he could have was, well, I'm just telling him this and I'm going back to jail.
Exactly.
Not thinking, oh, he's about to choose me.
Right. My whole world's about to. Right. He takes his ring off. Now that ring is the power. That ring is the voice. That ring is the stamp, if you will. And he puts it on. I'm talking crazy. Now he's had those experiences when he was in Potiphar's house, and now that when he was in jail, where he was the top guy that did everything. Get all that. So God was preparing him for this moment, but Joseph didn't know that God was preparing him for this moment. And
right.
so, man, I don't know. We talked about that last week and how unexpected that must have been and how crazy it must have been. And then this week we're going to get into his brothers show up. And so,
some real payback.
Yeah, well, that's where I would be. I mean, he does a few things, but you feel like, I'd have probably killed them as soon as they walked in the door. Kill them all,
Yeah.
Anyhow, he has a better attitude about it.
Read about that in my quiet time a couple weeks ago.
So good. So good. I'm reading chronologically through my reading, and 2 days ago, I finished up Job, and now I'm in the Exodus. So we're Moses.
Job took a while.
Job takes a while. He's got some mouthy, long-winded gas bag friends that won't shut up, man. Just stop talking. And so anyhow, I find I would rather read Leviticus than Job.
Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy, right? And I feel like I'm learning more from Leviticus. I'm looking forward to Leviticus than I am Job, and it's just because of his friends. Shut up, stop talking.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I don't know. That's a bad attitude about Job.
You'd expect it to be the wife going on for a while.
She didn't seem to say much after he told him to just curse God and die.
Yeah.
She seems to fall off the, You see Tim Hawkins, he's a comedian, and his funny thing about, the devil took everything away from Job except for his wife. Yeah, I think that's hilarious. He goes, no. I know what I'm doing. Just let her be.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. Anyhow, but yeah, so that's where we're at. Joseph, really, really good. And the ladies' Bible study, I really don't know what they're studying. I know there's Financial Peace University for those who are trying to work on their finances. And if you do the program, man, it works really, really, really good. I know a lot of people that have been very, very successful with it and have really got that financial freedom that they need. Instead of being, a slave to the lender, they now can use their money for what they want to use it for. So yeah, Wednesday night was great. What'd you guys do?
We played a classic, the dodgeball game. They were asking for it. We hadn't done it in a while. Alex, were you here Wednesday?
I was at work.
That's what I thought. Okay. And then we're going over a series right now where we're looking at Jesus' life and figuring out kind of the filter that he ran his decision-making through and how can we apply that to our lives. And this week we were looking at a specific story where they've been doing a lot of stuff. He recognizes he's tired. He also just found out John the Baptist is dead, so he's also kind of grieving a little bit. And so he decides, like, hey, we need a break. We need to rest. So he tells the guys, go ahead and hop on the boat. Let's go over here. We're going to rest. But as they're getting ready to go rest, he spots some people and says that they looked like lost sheep without a shepherd, and he had, like, kind of pity towards them. So he, instead of going straight to the rest, actually took care of them first, and then they went to go rest. And the whole idea of what we're looking at is understanding your need for rest, not overworking yourself, but finding ways to get spiritual rest, physical rest, and mental rest, and kind of breaking down the three of those, looking at those, and also understanding the first week we looked at was Jesus' practice of silence and solitude and how that's one of the ways we can get spiritual rest. When we're a little bit overwhelmed, you just take a break, but even Jesus, we see he needed to take some rest, but I mean, when you read it, you're expecting him to take like nap rest. The disciples do kind of take nap rest, but it says he went out to the mountains and prayed. And that was how he got his rest. He found his rest in the Lord. And so we kind of highlighted and emphasized spiritual rest as the most important and greatest kind of rest, because there's a certain kind of rest we can get from sitting in the presence of the Lord that we can't get from just taking a nap or hanging out and sitting on the couch. And so that's pretty much it. I think we have a couple more weeks going over that in the Jesus filter. I've really enjoyed it. It's been fun.
Tim, yeah. I was listening to Tim Tebow the other day, and he was talking about that when you talk about rest, there's so many Christians, they've been resting for 20 years. And he's like, well, I don't want that, And so he said that when we rest, the idea is for us to rest in the Lord. And I think that's what you're referring to and talking about. And I thought that was really, really good. I think we do need to rest, but there's so many people that they've been resting for 3 decades. It's like, holy cow, how long are you going to rest? Right. And so one thing that he said was, I want to get to heaven exhausted.
Yeah, and he says his greatest fear is getting to heaven well rested.
Yeah. And that's his greatest fear. He don't want to end up in heaven and going, man, I'm feeling really good. Yeah, I want to get there and be like, man, I am exhausted. And so I think I think you do need to have a rest. The Bible's very clear. You need to have a day of rest. I really try, really do. I don't do much Sunday afternoons on purpose. I do a lot of sitting. I may read. I watch TV. I may nap. But it's quiet, non-active rest. I'm just trying to turn my brain off. And so I really tried to have that every Sunday afternoon of a day of just, man, Sunday afternoon, what are you doing? Nothing. I'm going to go eat Mexican food and then do nothing. That's the whole ideal is that I'm going to turn everything off and rest. And so, and it's intentional. You know, a lot of people go, I can't believe you do that every Sunday. But the whole idea is, but Monday's coming and we're fixing to head off and start a new week where we're going to be busy and have things to do.
Right. And that's a verse we were looking at because, you know, as good of a line as what Tim Tebow's saying is, there also is the side of where we could be affecting our ministry if we're go, and not getting the proper rest we need. And we, you know, obviously God created the Sabbath intentionally. We look at even in the 7 days of creation, on the seventh day, God rested.
Yep.
That's all important. And there's a verse that we were looking at that said, man was not created for the Sabbath, but the Sabbath was created as a gift to man.
Right. Yes,
obviously,
absolutely.
This is something that's God-given, so obviously we need it, and it's something that could be beneficial to us. I use my friend Saban as an illustration. He does Sabbath on Saturdays, and he doesn't do anything that. Well, Sabbath is different for some people. Maybe it's like, hey, today I'm gonna refrain from doing this. It's the whole idea is taking something that you would normally do every day and just taking a break from it on that day. It doesn't have to be where you just sit in bed and don't move or do anything. You don't eat, you don't drink, or do anything that whole day. It doesn't have to look like that. But for Saban, his thing is, well, since I'm out and about all day every day. My Sabbath, I'm just going to stay at home. Like, he still does like stuff around the house, but he doesn't leave his house from sun up till sundown. And so I texted him, said, hey, we play basketball on Monday nights. I texted him, said, hey, we're moving basketball to Saturday night or Saturday afternoon if you want to come play. And he said, I can't. I practice Sabbath on Saturday, so unless we do it after sunset, I won't be able to make it. And that's something that he highly prioritizes, takes it serious because he recognizes his need for rest. As good as it is to go and do, your go and do isn't as effective if you're not well rested and taking care of yourself as well. And so that's kind of what
that's what my great grandma's always done. Is Saturday was her Sabbath day. Like, she won't do anything on a Saturday.
Yeah,
she plans nothing on a Saturday.
Yeah.
She stays at home, and her whole point of it was, well, it's supposed to be to rest. On Sunday, I'm getting up early. I'm going to church. I'm doing all that.
Yep.
She said on Saturday, that's my day with the Lord for me and him to talk.
Yeah.
You know, for me and him to have time together.
Yeah. And what's difficult
for a whole day.
That for us is like a lot of our youth events and church events, they
Or
fall
on
on Saturdays.
You're right.
And so for I guess for me and Dad, kind of the way we look at it and prioritize is we come in, knock this out, you know, but by 12 o'clock we're done. And then the rest of the day we get to, you know, choose what we do with that time. Obviously, having a girlfriend has changed my Sunday afternoons a little bit. I am leaving the house more than what I would normally be doing, but for the most part, which she even understands, I go home and I nap till about 5 o'clock before we go and do anything. In fact, last night we all went out, went to dinner and a movie, which was great, but I made sure, not only did I make sure I got that nap in, but Haley said, I'm not going anywhere unless Keagan goes home and gets a nap first, because I was already getting a little antsy.
She knows.
Had some attitude at lunch, apparently, and she said, we're not going until he gets to go home and sleep first.
Good for her.
So it's important. Get that rest. Because if I don't, I'm mean to people around me, and that doesn't help what I'm trying to accomplish at all.
Right. So even before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, he would do that Friday night, 6 o'clock, to Saturday at 6 o'clock. He turned off his phone. It was not turned on for 24 hours, and that was 24 hours, his Sabbath, if you will, Shabbat, that he spent with his wife, with his kids, and no distractions.
When especially for a guy like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
He's on the go all the time. You got to set time aside for your family.
Yeah, well, and he set a time for his family and to rest and so this 24-hour period right here, we're not doing anything but family. And man, I respect that. I think that's incredible. And I think it's wise that if we're not careful, the devil will get us so super busy that we miss out on family, that we miss out on that time of being together. And like so.
Well, and how many men, not even in ministry, also just focus so heavily on their job that they're missing out on their role as a father in the household.
Yeah, workaholics. And you miss it. And so I respect that he said, I can do that. I am doing that. So this is what we're going to do to make for sure I'm where I need to be doing what I need to do. And I think that's pretty awesome, And I think as you two guys get older, and if and when kids come along, hopefully one day, that you guys will see the need to. And it doesn't have to be one day. Maybe it's 2 hours every evening. Maybe it's, you know what I mean? But you figure out this right here is when I'm spending with the kids. One of the things I try to do is when I would come home is, we would watch whatever the kids wanted to watch or do whatever the kids wanted to do. We watched a lot of Wiggles. We watched a lot of stuff that obviously I did not want to watch, but that's what we were watching.
You like Tom and Jerry. I
love Tom and Jerry. Yep, that was one of the very few and I love good old Looney Tunes for sure. But, so I think that's just that priority of hey, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, and I need to make time for both things. So.
I think that's what's cool about having hobbies that you and your kids both enjoy. I mean, like a lot of the stuff me and you do together is either centered around college football, guns, or hunting, and that's where we get most
golf,
of our or golf. And so we have similar hobbies, and it makes it easier. But I think with trying to balance work, family, it's hard to create space for, just you one-on-one time with God. So you have to be super intentional about how you schedule out your weeks to make sure you are still getting the spiritual rest while maintaining your roles and balancing physical and mental rest all at the same time. And so I think if you very strictly, like my friend Saban, he goes to the extreme with it, like, hey, no matter what comes up, I'm not doing anything from this time to this time. And you put your foot down on that, it opens up that space so that it's natural for you to be able to get all three types of rest and still be effective in your role as wherever you're working, in your ministry, and as a family man. Because the reality is everybody's in full-time ministry, whether they get paid for it or not. We all have a role and responsibility to go and do. And if you aren't going and doing, then you're not doing your part.
Yeah. And I think Sundays, if you're coming to church, if you're teaching a class, if you're working with kids, if you're working in the nursery, whatever, those really aren't restful days. So that's where I like what your grandma did. I like what he does so Saturday's going to be that day. Saturday's going to be a day where I rest and relax. So I do a half a day, I guess, but I'm grateful for my half a day. I'm past the point where my kids don't need me, and they go and eat and do stuff without me and don't invite me, and so so for me to rest on Sunday afternoon.
Guys, a little salty about the movie last night.
That's why we didn't invite you. I saw you needed some physical rest.
You thought I needed the rest. I got you, and so.
Well, and we know who you're married to, so mental rest is key.
I need a lot of mental rest, and so
it's gonna be great whenever she hears that.
Yeah, right. Waiting for that comment.
I didn't say it.
It's gonna be the only comment on this episode.
I think she's wonderful, and a blessing. And so, but anyhow, so that time of rest is really, really good.
Yeah.
And so
I guess I could also share what I did Wednesday. I forgot about that too. I got the opportunity to go and speak at West Forsyth High School. They do this FCA thing where basically every month, the first 3 weeks, they go over a topic in 3 different branches of that topic. And then the final week, they bring in a speaker to come and kind of do like a summary recap. Or, I mean, he really told me I could do whatever I wanted, but he just said, this is what we've been talking about the past 3 weeks. We were talking about healthy friendships. And so I got to go and speak there. I spoke there last year when they were a much smaller group, so small that they weren't given like a specific space. So we were outside in the courtyard. It was 100 degrees. There was no mic, no stand to put my notes on. And I'm just screaming as loud as I can. And there's so much outside noise that the people in the back could barely even hear me. And there was probably 30, 40 kids out there. So I'm expecting the same thing this time. Well, they told me to go to the auditorium, and I was like, well, that's different. Walked in there, place is packed with kids, this whole auditorium. It's probably the biggest, no, not probably, it's the biggest group of students I've ever gotten to speak to. And so when I first walked in, I was very, very nervous, but they had me get up there and talk about healthy friendships, and it was really, really cool. I got to see a lot of kids that were either in my cabin or were around at Woodlands, and so got to catch up with a bunch of people. Got a few pictures with some of the guys that were in my cabin, and got to reconnect with a lot of people, and it was really, really cool, really fun. And I met the guy who's actually in charge of, he's a couple years older than me, he's in charge of FCA for Cumming, I think, and we exchanged numbers. We actually have a lot of mutual friends that I know from camp that he went to college with. And so he took my number so we could get together and meet up and talk and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool. Obviously, with a group that size, it was a good learning experience for me, getting to have that practice of talking to bigger groups like that. And I don't know, I really enjoyed it. It was really good. And they're all very, very good people, and I'm super thankful for the opportunity to even get to go speak there because, the only reason why I'm getting asked is because I knew a kid from camp, and he's in charge of finding the speakers. And so it's cool to see how ministry things I did in the past are still opening up doors for me now, which is really cool. And I think Dusty's even been talking to somebody to try to get me in at Pickens FCA. And so that's cool, exciting, looking forward to the possibility of that. But I think going and speaking as many places as I can and trying to fine-tune this thing, because I think that's where, like, I'm really good at the relational stuff and, being fun, but I think teaching is where I need the most improvement in what I do. And so it's good to have these opportunities to go and speak to different size crowds and try to really work on that and fine-tune that. So super thankful for that opportunity. But yeah, I got to go speak there, came back to the church, and then did church here tonight. So after Wednesday, I was exhausted, and I definitely needed some physical rest. You wouldn't expect speaking does, even though you're just standing there, it does tire you out. And that's why after those days where I'm speaking twice a day, I'm always go to Dad and go, man, I don't know how you're speaking 4 times in one Sunday. That's insane to me. I guess 3 times now.
3 times.
Sunday school and both services. But still, that's just a lot. And so that's where rest, again, really is important and something you need to prioritize. But, yeah, that was my Wednesday. I'll stop yapping.
Oh, it's good. So we had to cancel the youth activity Saturday. What brought you to that conclusion?
Well, the night before I was going, man, I'm tired. I was like, and then I heard whispers of snow. I wasn't really expecting
want to do
anything,
this activity.
But I was like, honestly, and like with how weak my ankles are, trampoline parks scare me because I know I'm not going to be able to just sit there and not jump. It's not how I'm wired. I'm going to have to go out and jump. And so I knew, I was like, man, I'm going to get hurt, but it's okay. I don't really have much going on here other than basketball, so I can afford to get hurt. But yeah, I woke up that morning and there was actually snow on the ground. And I was getting texts. Rachel Harris texted me and said, hey, we're all snowed in here. And it was like a dusting of snow on the driveway.
We can't even open the front door.
And so I couldn't tell if she was joking or not. She is pretty funny, so I should have just assumed she was joking. But I just said, boo, okay, let me make a few calls and figure out what the plan's going to be. And as I'm saying that, there's a bunch of parents texting me asking me if I was going to cancel. So I just assumed that it seemed like the parents were wanting me to cancel. And so since we're driving not just like any vehicle, but a bus, and I don't know what the roads look like down in Alpharetta, we just decided to go ahead and reschedule that. And I took a Sabbath day.
Well, and you couldn't have gone anyhow because they weren't open. So
yeah, they were shut down. So it worked out pretty good.
We couldn't have gone even if you decided, hey, let's do this thing. We couldn't have gone because they were closed due to the weather. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of the parents were happy that we canceled because they obviously wouldn't be able to come with, and we're all on a bus together going super far away, and I think it just puts a lot of them at ease knowing that, okay, well I know where my kids are and they're home safe.
The one thing you had going for you had a really good bus driver, so that helps.
And Steve Lewis wasn't taking us.
Oh, wow. That's hurtful.
Chad Green wasn't taking us either.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess the third best bus driver.
Yeah, but no, I hate that we had to cancel, but also I was very thankful to get a day because it was a very long week and I was exhausted and was very appreciative to get that day. Of course, I didn't realize that I was going to get Sunday pretty much too, so ended up having a full weekend of Sabbath. I was pretty lazy this weekend. Yeah. I taking 3 weeks off of Sunday schools. I feel like I've not done.
I don't know that we've ever done 3 weeks ever of no Sunday school, and so that's and so I know you people are listening, going, well, it's only been 2 weeks, but next week is homecoming, and we invite y'all all to come out. We haven't seen y'all in 2 weeks, so y'all need to come out.
I want every seat to be full.
Every seat to be full. We're doing one service at 11 o'clock for homecoming. Jonathan Wilburn's going to be there. It's going to be fantastic. The music's going to be great.
Cram in, sit by somebody you don't know.
Yep. come in. We're going to tell everybody to move over, make some room. And I'm just really hoping a lot of people will come because we haven't had church in 2 weeks. So let's cram in. Let's make it a big deal. And so that's this next Sunday. And so that'll be 3 weeks of no Sunday school, which is kind of crazy. That's a crazy deal. No Sunday school for 3 weeks. But the good thing is in 4 weeks from now or 2 weeks from now, I'm ready for Sunday school because I've been ready for 4 weeks now.
Well, and the other good thing is, if we have to cancel again.
No more canceling.
But if we do,
no.
I have finally fine-tuned and figured and remembered how to do the live with no hiccups. Good. There was no audio issues this week. And I didn't see any praise in the comments of like, hey, shout out Keagan. Man, he really killed it this week.
Yeah, they probably didn't. They probably
it's a thankless job.
So when you run sound and you run the camera and you run the projectors,
people only notice when you're doing wrong.
People only notice when
because
you do
I'll tell you what, when the audio wasn't working, I got 18 billion texts saying no audio, no audio. I'm like, man, I'm working on it.
Yep. No, like I said, it is a job that the only time anybody notices is when it's not working properly.
Yeah. I mean,
that's when it gets happened.
Like I noticed the Sunday when Steve Lewis wasn't paying attention and you were needing.
He was looking at his phone. Come on, man, get off your phone. I think that was the same week he knocked something over in the sound booth and it made a really loud noise. And I looked up and he just had his head down laughing. Apparently, he's distracted and playing around back there, man. He needs to figure it out.
So funny.
Jeez.
But yeah, no, I appreciate the people that normally run the live because clearly I have forgotten how to do it because it's been so long. So shout out to everybody that makes it happen so I don't have to.
Well, all those people that run sound and run the computer and do the cameras and that's just a job that, a lot of people don't really think about because it just happens, until it's not happening. And so, yeah, those people are fantastic. But, yeah, this Sunday coming up, I'm looking forward to it. We should have a regular Wednesday night. Wednesday night should be great.
And who's coming and singing?
Jonathan Wilburn.
There we go.
It's going to be great.
Look at that.
And we're going to eat. We're going to have brisket. We're going to have pork. We're going to have smoked chicken. And so you guys need to come and bring some sides and desserts to go along with it. And we're just going to have a good time.
I want Brussels sprouts.
Oh, gross. Good music.
They got to be done right, though.
How about why don't I make those apple glazed Brussels sprouts I made the other day?
Keegan's making Brussels sprouts.
I'll make some Brussels. We'll make it happen. So I just don't know how to make it. How do you make it and it still be nice and fresh whenever church rolls around?
Well, that's the reason why you only do one service that way, because I was always told you've got to give them Sunday school so they can cook their food.
I'll just cook it here, actually. That'd make it
might as well
way easier. But then, I feel like during the church service, it's just going to get cold.
When you do it during church service, that's what a lot of people do.
Perfect.
Don't do it during church service. I'm kidding. Y'all don't do that. You come to church, hear church. It's going to be good. We're going to pack the place out. Hope a lot of people are here. Wednesday night should be regular Wednesday night. Should be good. I'm excited about it. This Sunday, obviously, we're supposed to finish up Sermon on the Mount. But I didn't want to finish up Sermon on the Mount because it's Jesus' invitation to choose the broad road or the narrow road, to choose the broad gate or the narrow gate, choose the rock or sand. And so in those cases, if you're lost, you have a choice. And it's kind of Jesus' invitation to the lost people. But then he also gave an invitation to the Christian. Do you choose the rock? Do you choose the sand? What are you going to choose? And so it was an invitation. It's an invitation message. And I didn't want that to be our final message that we did, and we did it just online. So I'm going to save that. We'll do that in 2 weeks. Like I said, Jonathan this week, and then we'll do wrap up Sermon on the Mount. And but so we did having an attitude of gratitude and just having the right attitude of being thankful for the good things and even for the bad things. I think it's okay to be thankful for the bad things if God's doing that to teach you and to show you and to grow you and just being grateful. And so we talked about that. There were 10 leopards.
You never learn anything when things are going good.
No. And so 10 lepers. Tracy got onto it because I said leopards.
You always say leopards. You
Leopards?
have every time I've heard you talk about this story, you say leopards.
Wow.
And I actually, when you said it, I texted Mom and I sent her. I think I said 10 leopards with a bunch of exclamation marks. Me and her joke about it every time you talk about it.
And then apparently Vince caught it because Vince and Sheila were cracking up. So lepers. And so there were 10 of them, but only one came back and was grateful. Only one came back and said thank you. And so we talked about that instead this week. I thought it went really well as a message I'd preached before, I think back in 2016. So it had been a couple of minutes before we preached it. I've preached it at a couple of different churches, preached at Clark's church, that kind of stuff. So it was familiar enough with me that, I was able to change directions.
And you had a bigger crowd to speak to this week as well.
That helped, and having Vince out there and having Alex out there and having a few other people where I could see them and they were participating and that just helps. You know what I mean? To have that. And so I was grateful that we had as many folks as we did, and it looks like this week should be really, really good, and no reason for us not to have a regular week. So I'm excited about the week coming up. I'm excited to see some of you folks we haven't seen in 3 weeks, and so you plan on come hang out with us. We're going to have a great Wednesday night and a great Sunday, so come and join us. So
yeah, and so part of the reason why Alex is here today is something happened at Target that's one of the funniest stories I've heard in a long time, and I was going to share it on the podcast this morning, but I thought, he doesn't have to work for a while. Why don't we get him to come on and give, you can hear the story firsthand, because it truly is incredible. Now, I'm going to go ahead and warn you, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, part of this story is visual. So if you want, you can switch over to YouTube or go back and check it out on YouTube so you can get the full effect of the story, because it is truly incredible, and I'd hate for you to miss out on any small detail of it. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Alexander Olin Pence.
Well, so if you guys know me, I like to annoy my wife. Yeah. And she does not like anything where people are looking at her. On Sundays, if you see her playing the bass, she's like tucked away behind the piano because she doesn't want anybody to see her. So one of my favorite things to do is to go out in public with her and yell and be loud and be goofy and stuff like that, because it really gets her going. And so we were at Target, and I thought I was doing my normal thing. She had left me in an aisle, and I went to go find her, and I'm running through Target screaming Haley at the top of my lungs, and she's yelling at me, and so then we go to walk. She said, "I need lunch meat." I said, "Okay, well, we'll find the lunch meat then." So we start walking towards the lunch meat, and what I didn't realize, I was walking all goofy in front of her and everything, trying to embarrass her. What I didn't realize was she had a squirrel moment and went, "Oh, wait, I need something down this aisle." She didn't say anything to me, and she just ducked off down the aisle. So I keep on walking, doing my thing, and I get over to the lunch meat, and in the middle of everybody, I go like this towards the lunch meat. And I turn around to nobody being behind me anymore. And immediately my face got as red as it could get.
Oh, no.
I look up, there's probably 20 people watching me be an idiot right in front of the lunch meat.
Look at this guy's on crack.
And I just start laughing and shaking my head and walking back towards where I had last seen my wife.
Who's schizophrenic?
And, yeah, who's this guy pointing? Why is he so excited over lunch meat?
Lunch meat. Oh.
And so I shaking my head, laughing. I go and I find her, and she said whenever I turned the corner of the aisle, I was like as red as any red you've ever seen. And I was laughing so hard that I was crying. And she's like, "What happened?" And so I tell her, and I've probably only seen Haley laugh that hard 2 or 3 times in our relationship. I mean, I thought she was going to stroke out in the middle of the aisle. She was laughing so hard at me being an idiot in front of the lunch meat.
That's awesome.
So then we walk back over there. Of course, nobody's there at that point, to see me.
So here's my question. Did you do it again?
No, I did not do it the second time.
No.
I held back that second time. I behaved the rest of the time that we were in the Target.
The rest of the day, you're right. I'm going to be good.
Yeah, I did good the rest of the time that we were in there. So
I love when Haley gets tickled or turned upside down, because you just don't see that side of her very often. But when she does,
I see it a good bit.
It's hilarious. It's great.
And I've told her before, and I think I've told you guys this before. If there's one person in this world that can get Haley laughing like that, it's Keagan.
Yeah.
Wow. And he can do it every single time. She thinks that Keagan is like the funniest person she's ever met.
So I've had a lot of time to fine tune my craft with her on like road trips and stuff, because like obviously it's just me and her, and so you throw new material at her. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it makes her mad. There's some jokes that I can get her falling out laughing, but if I do the same kind of thing at the wrong time, I'm this evil, annoying person.
Right.
So a lot of the comedic timing when it comes to Haley is first identifying what state of mind she's in.
Right.
Is she open to comedy, or is me even looking at her going to make her angry?
Right.
Yes.
And you have to know when to go in. And obviously, I just go for it no matter what. I go, we'll just see how this works out. But I've also gotten her so mad that I'm like, okay, crap, the only way I can get out of this is if I get her to laugh. And so you have to know how to make her laugh when you're in those
do some work
situations
there too, yeah.
And so obviously I've said this before, she's like my favorite person to make laugh, because when I do get her laughing really hard, it's like man, heck yeah.
And I mean, she's like, when she gets to laughing that hard, she can't breathe.
Yeah.
She's crying. I mean, it's hilarious.
I love it.
One night, she accidentally hit me in like my eye or something like that, just accidentally. And I, playing around, like acted like she had almost killed me. I don't think other than the Target the other day, I don't think I've ever made her laugh that hard.
When she thought you were in pain.
Yeah.
That's a little sick.
And I was like, this is crazy. I started laughing along just because of how funny she found that.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're being such a baby. And just, crying. And I was like, what is wrong with you, crazy
Tracy
lady?
and Haley get a kick out of people being hurt. I don't know why.
Oh, she loves it.
Yeah, they get a kick out of that.
She loves it.
I've never figured it out. It's crazy. If you fall in front of Tracy, she will help you up, but she will be laughing at you while you're
But you know what I find funny about that? Haley is the same. She'll laugh at you if you fall. However, if she falls and you laugh,
oh gosh,
you're the worst person that's
but
ever
Mom
lived.
laughs when she falls.
she does. Yeah,
Right.
so that's where the
Right.
difference is, right?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
No, Haley gets very upset if you
And I
laugh when
think
she
that all
falls.
plays into the fact that
She doesn't like attention.
Haley hates attention. Mom welcomes it with open arms.
Yeah.
She wants
Right.
the attention. And so I think for Mom, when she falls, her thoughts don't go to, oh my gosh, everybody's looking at me. Her thoughts go to, that's funny, I just fell. Haley's
Right.
is, crap, people are looking at me now.
Right.
Right. And that goes back to she doesn't like people looking at her.
Not at
Like
all.
even just me talking about her Sunday, and there's 12 people in there.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
talk about her. She does not like it at all.
No.
She's not happy.
No.
I'm like, okay, well, anyhow.
Well, she always asks me whenever I come home from shift. She's like, I know you guys talk about me. What'd you say about me? What'd you say about
gosh.
I'm like, we didn't even talk about you. We didn't say anything
we had
about
other
you.
things to do today.
Yeah.
She's not going to like that story being on there.
But
She's going to be like, you made me look like a psychopath.
yeah, oh yeah,
That's
I'm
what
gonna get
Mom
in
always
trouble
says.
for that.
Mom goes, Mom says that we make her seem like this super evil person on the podcast, or you make her seem awful when
I
you're
have not-
preaching. And I go, it's not that we're making it seem like it.
We're just telling stories here, man.
And then she's hitting me. But like you said something from the pulpit the last normal Sunday, and she leaned over and she
That's
goes,
been a
he
long
makes
time.
me sound like the devil. Which you did call her the devil one time from the pulpit.
I did, but it was funny. It was funny.
So-
Well, maybe not the devil. Maybe just his sister.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
We've gotten some really good additions to the list this year, and it's been fun. I like pulpit chatty. It sometimes gets a little squirrely.
Oh, sometimes it derails pretty hard.
It's funny how many people in the church now, when you say something kind of outlandish,
they want to know
their
if
first
it's on the
instinct.
list.
They looked at me and Haley, and they do like that, like giving us to write that down.
Add that to the list.
You know,
Haley's got a huge list of things Chad's not allowed to say from
we've
the
been
pulpit.
we've been working on it for some time.
I have had someone request that during the men's Bible study one Wednesday night, have the list and just go over it. Someone has suggested
That would be great.
That'd be funny.
That would be awesome.
probably-
Because
suggested
some of them don't have any context to like
No.
how you were saying.
Actually, most of them don't have context.
Right, it's just either the word or the phrase.
Yeah.
And so it's like you read it and you go, "What in
Yeah.
the world was this dude talking about whenever they wrote this?"
How
down?"
did he
Because
get
like
there?
the,
in the
Right.
message?
like
Yeah.
if you're a prostitute, stop that too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Don't do that either.
We got more what was it? Hypocrites than prostitutes? Isn't that what he said?
Something like that.
Yeah,
And he goes,
something like
and
that.
both are bad. And if you're a hypocrite, you need to stop that. And if you're a prostitute, you should probably stop that too.
Yeah.
I said if
yeah.
you're doing the other, you should quit. I didn't say
yeah,
that
yeah,
last time.
that's true.
It's so funny.
That whole message went really, really good until that last 2 minutes, and it completely derailed right there.
Of course, but I've only spoken
Derailed.
twice main service here, and I already have a list of my own that
There you go. It
Miss
doesn't take
Julie
long.
and Christy have started because
There you
I
go.
said turd from the pulpit.
Can't say
Didn't
turd.
know. I would have thought for sure because it's the good version of something much worse.
Well, you shouldn't be talking about it at all, apparently.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I said that a bunch of teenagers were acting like turds at camp.
Acting like and then you say, there's other things you'd want to say, but that all can be taken back. That they're all acting like a bunch of
heathens. Who knows?
Jekylls.
Feel like if that's the worst thing I've said, I'm doing pretty good.
Well, but you've only gone twice, and it can go any direction at this point.
But like, I don't think I've said anything speaking to the teens ever even close to turd.
Well, I don't feel like some of this stuff. I think some of the stuff is ridiculous that y'all put on there. So I would like to go through and argue my point on some of them.
I don't know, like, because there's also like all the random one words, like you said, nutballs.
Right.
And like, I don't even remember the context of that at all.
I was talking about somebody being a nutball. They're just stupid. They're nuts, and they're crazy.
So the last three things you said were great substitutes for nutballs. You did not have to say.
Right. Well, sometimes things just happen. So
I get that. It happens.
It happens. And
Life
so,
happens.
But yeah, it's been good. I'm excited about this Sunday. I'm gonna do a little sermonette. I think I'm just gonna talk about our history and how it's been a good history. But
Is sermonette like the actual phrase for it?
I don't know.
Because I don't like when you say it.
You don't like that?
I just say mini sermon.
A mini sermon. Okay.
Because now I'm thinking a woman's going to get up and teach, and that'll have me walk out of this church.
You're leaving. I got you. No, I'll get you. Guys, yeah.
Oh, man.
That's causing
Oh, that's going to get some comments.
So
Well, if you want to get mad at the Bible, get mad at the Bible. You know, sue me.
you're mad at the wrong person.
I don't make the rules. I follow. Well, I don't really.
Try to.
Loosely.
Try to.
I'm worried about the speck in everyone else's eyes. But I don't even remember what we were talking about.
You were talking about your sermonette.
Sermonette, mini sermon. It's probably going to be about 10 or 15 minutes long. Not going to be long. We're talking about our history, when we came together, give some dates. Here's where we're at. Here's what the Lord's done. And what's happening.
Yeah, that'll be good. That's a good homecoming topic.
And then, hey, but we still have things to do. There's still lost people. There's still people that need to be saved. Let's get it. Let's go after them. Let's don't be satisfied.
We still have to work towards opening up the Shiloh Baptist theme park.
Yeah, we got to get the Shiloh Baptist theme park going
right across the street.
Right across the street. Anyhow, but there's some
just got
things
a
that
call
need to happen.
from Pops.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we should answer that on the line.
Yeah,
hey, Pops.
here. Hey, old man, you're on the podcast for the church.
Okay, you want me to call you back?
Yeah, you can call me back here in just a little bit.
Okay.
All right, love you, bye.
That is one of the greatest guys of all time. He actually is one of the funnier dudes. We were making cinnamon rolls. He comes to the church and they help out a ton with making the pies and cinnamon roll stuff happen. But while we were here, I had him laughing so hard, and I was so proud. It felt so good having him laugh that hard. I was like, dude, I am on it.
It's always funny, talking about the cinnamon rolls with him and stuff. He really just comes because Grammy's here. That's the only reason he comes.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't really know about the cinnamon rolls. Like, he's learned stuff through doing them here. But, like, the first time he ever came, he just kind of did whatever Grammy told him to do. And then, too, with that, talking about this past year whenever he came and helped, it's funny seeing him with my friends because he feels like anybody that we've brought around, any of us grandkids or anything, have brought around our family.
Yeah.
So, like, Keagan had Emma Grace there this year, and Pops was like, well, we need to approve of her.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not even related to the guy, Pops. But he feels like anybody that we've brought around, he brings in his family. Like, Keagan's come to family dinner nights at their house and stuff, and it's all because Pops he really does see, like, anybody that my grandkids feel like needs to be around, they need to be around the family.
Yeah.
They need to be part of the family.
Well, what I like about your family is, so we left a pretty big family in Texas, and what I love is that your family has just welcomed Haley in both sides of the family. People up in Illinois and here have welcomed her in as just one of the family, and I know she loves that, and she loves family dinner, and she loves that. So she loves the family aspect of it, and I love that she has just been made to feel so welcome.
Well, and Pops, it made him feel so good one time. I think it was early on in me and Haley dating. I told him something about like Haley likes coming over here. She enjoys spending time with y'all. She likes being at y'all's house, and just the joy that brought to Pops, that she felt welcome at his house.
Yeah.
And that's always the way he's wanted everybody to feel.
Well, and
at his house.
Every year they let the youth come to their house and use their swimming pool for our teen kickoff, and it's never been like let's see if they'll let us come over. I text. We asked them. They say yes, absolutely, and they don't just stay in the house. They come and sit on the back porch, and they look like overjoyous to see that many people
love
at their house.
people.
They love hosting. And Grammy we never have asked her to do it, but she makes these cookies. What's it called? The little pan.
It's just like a cookie cake.
Yeah, and it's phenomenal. It's so good, especially because she makes them like really gooey.
I like it.
Yeah, she like halfway cooks them, which is how we like them. We ask her for that, but she
we
like
never
halfway cooks
once
them.
asked her to make it for the teen. Every time we've gone over there with the teens, she makes it and brings it out, and they just seem not just that they're willing to do that for us, but they're happy to do it for us. And
food has always
been a loving group of people.
Food has always been Grammy's like love language. That's how she's always. Whenever we were kids, and going over to her house, Pops always said, he's like, I love having you grandkids over here because Grammy makes dinner. He said, if y'all weren't here, we'd be having a sandwich and chips right now. With y'all here, we're having, meat and 3 sides.
Yeah.
It's a big old dinner. So she's always done that. And then even now, it's getting harder for them to get around. And I'm sure if they listen to the podcast, they wouldn't like me saying that. But they're getting older.
Sure.
And so Grammy needs help now, but still, she wants every other week for us to come over to her house to have dinner. Mm-hmm. And she wants the whole family there. And, like I was saying, Keagan's been there, but also Bailey's brought friends, stuff like that. And Grammy and Pops always love them. And Grammy makes such a big deal out of making sure that there is something that everybody eats.
Yeah.
So she'll cook 16 different things just to make sure there's one thing that everybody likes.
That's cool.
And so,
and also one of the things like going over there, like I've learned how to cook certain things. Just she does stuff like very old school traditional way of cooking, which is very cool and fun to watch. But I can't tell how many times like me and Alex have been over there just real quick, just stopping by, and she's like, "Y'all come in here and help." And I'm learning how to do all this stuff just because, Grammy says she needs help. We're in here helping her. And getting to be a part of the cooking process has always been really fun for me. I haven't gotten to go over there a whole lot here recently, but even like her birthday party, like I was invited to go to that, which is like just reinstating what he's saying is like they see his friends as family. And
and Pop's like he thought about moving the day of Grammy's birthday so that you could be there.
Really?
He really wants everybody to be able to be there.
That's awesome.
And he's always been like that. But that's going to part of his ministry. He's a preacher at their church, but he's never been like on Sunday preacher. Their church is a little different than ours, but they see him as a preacher. He has gotten up and preached before, but his ministry is really his flower shop.
Yeah.
And that's a way, a lot of people say, well, I don't get up on Sundays and preach, so it's hard for me to reach people. Well, the way that like my grandpa reaches people is he owns a flower shop in Canton, and he's always said the people coming in with dead relatives and stuff like that, they need Jesus just as much as anybody else does. Absolutely. To help comfort them through those times. And so anytime he talks to people, he always throughout planning what flowers they want at the funeral, the casket cover, all that kind of stuff, he always brings it back around to God and how he can help them through the time that they're going through. So, being a little kid hanging out with him was pretty awesome because he teaches everybody. He always takes an opportunity to tell somebody about Jesus.
That's
and
awesome.
That's
and I think
really good.
That should be, no matter who you are, in your situation.
Use the environments you're placed in.
Use the platform that God's put you in to be that light, to be that witness. And so I think for you have a perfect opportunity. You work with a lot of guys, and y'all are in some really bad situations and circumstances where that opportunity to have those conversations will come up. And if they trust you and you really walk the walk and you are who you say you are, then they're going to want to have questions, or they're going to want to have conversations. And I think, man, what a great opportunity to talk with men and have a relationship with those guys and tell them about Jesus that, like for me and Keagan, we've never had that opportunity.
Well, and I'm with them for 24 hours at a time.
Yeah.
You know, after a while, there's not really any stories about each other that you can tell that the other people don't know.
Yeah.
You know, so conversations go anywhere in a firehouse. And so I've had a lot of opportunities to talk about my faith and you know, what I believe in and what I've been studying in the Bible and stuff with the guys at work, just because, you know, there's some guys that are trying to better their relationship with God. So then they come to me, and I wouldn't say that I'm like the greatest example to go by, but they come to me and they've got questions and want to know things and stuff like that. So it is a really good opportunity to share my faith. At the fire station.
And I think in any situation that there's a place where you can let your light shine. Like for Haley, she works at the junior high. Dude, they need Jesus. So she can show her light and her love and Jesus is, you know, what Jesus has done through her. And so in each platform, each situation, the key is to live intentionally and to be that light and those witnesses in those situations. And so, you know, I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome when Christians flesh that out like your grandpa has, and that's his testimony of okay, so we have a flower shop. Yes, this is how we survive. This is how we live, but this is also how we spread the love of Jesus and pass that on to other people. So I think that's
because
really
as Christians, we're all in full-time ministry.
Absolutely.
Hey, if you ever need any flowers and you're looking to support local, this is the first free ad read we're doing. But go check out Fowler's Florist in Canton. They're great people and they do great work.
Fantastic.
But hey, we're coming up. We got about 10 minutes left. If you wanted to share with everybody why you're on crutches.
You're on crutches? When did that happen?
And then we'll wrap up after that.
Holy smokes.
Well, it happened Saturday night.
What happened was
I got my knee dislocated on a fire that we were on. So a hose line hit me in the knee. And
how does a hose line hit your knee? Like when the water's running through it?
Yeah, so there's, you know, obviously pressure it's a lot coming out of those hoses. Yeah. So, you know, the hose that we were flowing is around 265 gallons per minute of water coming out. So the pressure behind that is a lot.
Sure.
So, you know, in the heat of battle, shall we say, in the front yard.
In the melee.
Yeah, in the front yard, really doing it in the front yard. I told our new guy, hey, wait just a second. Let me get set up so I can back you up, kind of take some of that pressure off of you. And he didn't hear me whenever I said that.
Gotcha.
And so he opens up the nozzle, and my knee was just right on the hose.
Ouch.
And it kicked back, and it just perfectly hit my kneecap and shoved it off to the side. So went to the hospital that night, you know.
So did you blame that guy for doing it?
Do what?
Did you blame that guy?
No. However, the other guys at my station were not happy with him because I said, you know, if you can't hear me, you can't hear me.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about it.
He wouldn't have done it on purpose.
No.
And I wonder if he would have received less kickback and crap from the guys if he wasn't a rookie.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think that just
Absolutely.
intensified it. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, he's a rookie. Let's give him crap
100%.
for it.
Let's
Yeah.
make his life miserable. I bet he feels bad.
Yeah, he called me the next morning and he's, you know, hey man, I just want to make sure you know I didn't mean to do that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, you didn't hear me. You can't change that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not your fault if you can't hear me say something.
Right.
You don't know what's going on behind you.
Yeah,
You don't
it's
have
loud,
eyes
a lot
back there.
going on.
Yeah. So he felt really bad, but went to the hospital that night and they gave me a brace and crutches and all this stuff. So got to follow up with an orthopedic doctor and see what the damage really is. They said that my bones are where they're supposed to be, so that's a good thing. Yeah. And everybody I talk to makes it sound like it's worse and worse the injury. I thought at first, I was like, my kneecap went back into place after we got me on the stretcher and we were trying to take off my turnout gear. My kneecap went back in place, and I was like, hey man, it's back in the right spot. Like, do I even have to go to the hospital? Can I just go back to work? And my chief was like, absolutely not. You don't have to go to the hospital in the ambulance, but you will be going home. I said, well, might as well go to the hospital and get checked out there. So still waiting. I mean, it's fresh, so 2 days old. So we're still seeing like what they're gonna do.
Is it swollen?
Oh yeah, it's swollen up. It's swollen. It's still hurting and stuff, but it's more like an annoying pain. And this brace makes it no better because the brace presses down the swollen, part of it, so it like makes it hurt more.
Yeah.
So I love sitting on the couch and taking the brace off, letting it breathe.
Well, I'm sure you also love, like, in an injury like this, having a loving wife that's willing to answer the phone when things go wrong.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wait, that's not how it
Bro,
works.
I can't go there because she already feels so bad about that, and I understand. I understand where she's coming from. She had called me while, like, as we were first getting on the fire. She FaceTimed me, and so she sees on Life 360 that I'm at a call. She knows I'm not at the station, and typically she can look and be like, "Oh well, he's been there for 2 hours. It's probably a fire. It's going to take him a little while to respond." Well, there wasn't even enough time between me getting on scene of the fire and getting in the back of the ambulance and trying to call her for her to be like, "Oh, it's a fire." I mean, it was maybe 10, 15 minutes of being there. I got hurt. So, it's really quick. And so I tried to FaceTime her, and she wasn't answering because she thinks, oh, he's on a medical call. He's trying to call me back because he thinks something's wrong, and I'm just messing with her.
Yeah.
So she doesn't answer me. So I call her twice. She doesn't answer. I'm like, well, I got to get somebody to let her know that I'm going to the hospital. And so who do I call other than my best friend Keagan?
And who answers?
And it took 2 calls, but he answered.
No, I answered. Listen.
Come on.
I was playing Xbox, felt the vibration, picked up my phone, answered it, and it said call failed. So then I immediately called him.
He did.
And he answered, and he was, I opened up, it's FaceTime. I'm thinking, oh, he's calling me to show me something that's happening while he's on shift, or like he's trying to get me to talk to one of the guys at the station. So I answer the phone singing and being a cornball, and he goes, hey, I'm in the back of an ambulance. Can you take the phone to Haley? I'm like, oh crap, sorry, yes sir.
So,
I need to stop joking.
So then she's like joking around or whatever, and she's like, you didn't have to call me back. And I said, well, actually, I need to tell you some news. I'm going to the hospital. And she was like, what? What has happened? And I said, it's nothing serious. My knee popped out of place. It's back in place. I just got to get checked out. And she was like, okay, well, do I need to come pick you up? I was like, nah, I can drive home. So drove home that night, and, she doesn't want me doing anything. Like, she doesn't want me walking around, anything like that. And
take advantage of that. I would milk that for all it's worth.
Like, anytime that we're sitting on the couch, so for the past 2 days, or today and yesterday, I guess, really, like, I'll be sitting on the couch and I'm like, oh, I need whatever, from the table right across the room or whatever. And so I start to get up, and she's like, what are you doing? Just tell me what you need.
Oh, I'd be on the couch going, Haley, I'm so hungry.
I'm like, I feel useless if I do that. Like, it's just not my nature. And so, getting out of the house this morning and going to the gym, like, it wasn't a great workout for me, but, at least it was moving. And I got out of the house, got to talk to people, so.
Then you end up with a good breakfast, and now you're on the podcast, and that makes us go a really good day so far.
Yep, now I'm going to go home.
Heck,
And I'm told to sit on the couch for the rest
Heck,
of the
Alex could probably be on the podcast every Monday for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the part of the whole thing that I thought is I was like, max 2 weeks, I'm going to be out. And anybody that I've talked to, I hadn't really talked to a doctor yet about it, so we'll still see what they say. I'm still hopeful.
Hopefully you're not as bad as some of the other people.
Right. So, but almost everybody else I've talked to has said like 4 to 6 months is the
Goodness.
like physical therapy and everything for it. So I'm really hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping it's one of those things like, well, if it's back where it's supposed to be, you didn't injure anything else, like you're good to go.
Do a little bit of rehab.
I think the biggest tell will be the state that the tendons are in. If they're all still in shape, I don't see a reason for it to be 6 months.
And that's what I'm hoping is that the inside tendon didn't rip whenever it went off to the side. So praying about that and hoping that it's fine. I mean, it hurts, but it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt.
Leg did something it wasn't supposed to, so.
That's right.
I don't think it's supposed to do that.
Right.
Well, hey guys, we've really enjoyed having Alex on again today. Thank you if you made it this far in the episode. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. Make sure you drop a comment so we can have something to talk about and review next week. Please come this Sunday. It's going to be great. You're not going to want to miss it.
We're going to have 250 people here. You need to be part of that.
We got a guest singer, mini sermon. Place is going to be packed out. We're eating good food. Make sure you bring a good old side and dessert. It's going to be a great time, and we can't wait to see you guys then. Again, thank you for listening. Chad, Alex, y'all got any last things to leave the viewers with?
Have a great week.
I ain't got nothing.
Perfect. Hey, check out Fowler's Florist. Fowler's Florist
That's it.
in Canton. Y'all have a good week.